Hi everybody, hope you're all well. Mindful Moodling will be starting in a few minutes. Well, you know how early I am. Anyway, just bear with me, the video's about to start soon. Thanks, bye. Good afternoon everybody. This is a really impromptu one because I'm just testing this new where I'm sat. It may wobble in and out, but you know, I want to see how it looks because it's going to be a bit easier. Yes or no? Can't wait. So very impromptu. We've got a piece of cold press paper that is so wobbly. 15 and a half. 50. Oh, that's right. So why is that like that? 15 and a half is 7 3/4. So I've put 7 3/4. That's it. Just a little bit out. All I've done is found the centre. So I've just found the centre of this piece of card, like that. Still looks out, but it's better. I just lobbed it down the middle. So it's annoying me. Right, I've got another piece. Right, now these are bookbinders rulers. So the difference between a bookbinder's ruler and an ordinary ruler is the fact that it doesn't start with a knot and a bit of extra. It starts at 1. The edge starts at 1. Well, no, the ruler starts at the edge. Oh, I'll show you. It's got no extra bit there, you know, so it starts straight away. So just marked halfway. That's got to be 21 on it. 21 and a bit. So I reckon 10 and a half, 10 3/4. I only need that bit there. I don't need to be perfect, that just marking the centre there. So I'm just going to go yeah, so it's a bit of an impromptu one, this. I just wanted to check out what, you know, the film, the feed was, the lighting, because I'm up in my office now, and that means that I can leave the camera on here and don't have to disrupt everybody. When I say everybody, there's only 2 of us. Stupid thing to say, isn't it? Just wondering whether I need to only have a little bit there. No, that's enough. So I've got like a window. Yeah. So just going to have a quick look, see who's around. Afternoon, Kim. Angela. Yeah, you're here. You're there. You're everywhere. Yeah, you're on Facebook. Kim's on YouTube. Yeah. And we've got good morning from Tennessee. Good morning from the UK. Yeah, 8-5 to start. Angela, morning. 6. I'm not too sure what's happening. Facebook user, good morning to you. Sorry, you have to give permission. I can see there's a bit of a shadow there, and that's the actual camera gooseneck. So I'm aware of that, and it's quite far away, but I could bring it forward. So yeah, I'm liking it at the moment, but I don't like that shadow. Anyway, we'll soon see. So we're going to start, as we normally do, with a neuro bit, because I just find this incredibly I love it. I just find it so useful. So I'm going to get the big, I'm going to go for big guns. Got a big piece of paper out like that. And the only reason is, can you see that shadow? It's annoying, isn't it? So I don't have loads of problems going up and down, up and down. So I've got a couple of things. I've got that back out today. What do you mean be ready to start? I've started. Yeah, you'd be ready to start. What's all that going on about? Right, so I'm going to just collect some coins together if you so wish. You do not have to. And then I'm just going to take that off. So, got that, and that. Some coins of different weights. So, wherever you are, I'm sure you've got different weights. I've got a £2, a £1, 20p's, and a penny. So, I'm going to get a different sort of weight to this. Now, I only found the centre to see if it was square, so I don't even know if I need it. Oh, we've dropped right down. Right, so I'm using a pen, a 0.3, okay? Just check it. Yep, that's fine. And I'm going to go side to side. Something really fascinating about doing this is just where do you go? Nobody knows. So what you do with it is just, I'm just trying to create the spaces. And if I didn't use this, I'm afraid to say it wouldn't be this random. It would be a lot more contrived. So, ooh. So by doing this way, I've got less control. It looks really scruffy, I know. So have a look at it. Turn it around. What do you like? Is there parts that you do like, parts that you don't like? No, I'm looking for a few more in here now. 20p. See what weight that gives me. See how it's all congregating to that? And you know why? Because I've got a bit of a bevel in the table. So just let it go. Try. It doesn't matter if you can't control it, because that's half the benefit. All right, so we've got quite a mass of lines there. Okay, now this is where I start to fill it in. So just going to put little lines in. Now I'm using a not pressed paper. So what that means is it's quite rough. So it's going to, have an effect on my pen. So I'm going to go on with a fatter pen now so I can just go straight in, not mess about. So Yeah, that's much better. Right, okay. Now what I'm going to do, before I do my little circles, I'm going to go in with my... Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. Right, okay, so I've got my circle ruler. No, it's not a ruler. Circle, if you think. And I'm just going to put bear with me. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can either go move the paper or move your appliance. It's up to you. So got quite a heavy line in there. No, I like that. That's enough. So what I've done is just simple. So I've got my lines like that, I've got my circles, and I'm going to go back in now with the thicker lines in. Side. I think I found something really therapeutic for myself. He was coming home from the match yesterday. Everywhere we went, he was blooming losing twos. And it really set me up for bad dreams last night. Quite. I didn't get to sleep well. 4. So it really did set me up quite a sort of uneasy night. Yeah, we saw ambulances. That always triggers something because of my dad. So that triggers that idea, and then there was police cars, and it was just, I didn't think, mind you, I know one of the things is we had tea when we got in, which was pretty late, and I ate too much. I don't eat a lot during the day, and I ate too much. So to me, my mum would say, "Oh, you dream," and you say, "Oh, right, whatever." But yeah, I'm sure everybody's got their own little. Yeah, you shouldn't eat here, you shouldn't eat there, but whatever, it did lay heavy, and it could have had the effect could have been one of the reasons why I had a sort of strange night. I know I'm going to get lots of, well, you shouldn't do that and you should do this, but please, you know, I know that. I know. It's like telling a smoker it's bad for them. We know it. We know. You don't need to say it. Just to wind me up something rotten, that. But I find myself, if I'm not careful, I start doing it. So I have to just be a bit aware of it. So I'm just seeing now there might be some problems with buffering. It doesn't look like anyone's buffering on here, but if I am buffering, I do apologise now. That's just shown me on his iPad that I'm a bit of a buffer today. So I'm just highlighting inside these circles, and I'm going to go in with my pens. Now, I know one or two of you have bought the pens, so nice one. I'll bring them back in a minute. On my scroll bar at the moment, you'll see there's a thank you to my Patreons, and if you'd like to become a Patreon, which allows me to keep these free, you go to louwithers.com and there's a lot of info on there. So more or less darken this here. I need to shove a couple here, so I'm going to go. That's better. Can you see? Sometimes just making them up is just as good. But I don't like to do that to beginning. I like to make sure that I've got the full sort of corner to corner, side to side. Right, I'm hoping that I'm not buffering. I'm just going to check some comments. So I'm just going to show you now. If you do want to use these, if you go to the lovely people at Highlight Crafts, you can get these same pens I'm using in a minute. I'm just going to buffer that out. Buffer. I'm a buffer. Get the same pens I'm using for half price. So what I've done is, let's get an idea of what I'm doing. I've done neuronautical art, which means it's like letting the impulses or the lines do itself. So, you know, it's almost like it's firing messages off. So then I've done some lines and I've joined them. I need to find a one for this. If there's any that are a bit maybe not meeting, no, they look all right apart from that bit there. Then, you know, just join them up. I'm using a number 3 for the borders. and a number 8 in the circles. Then where it's all passing all over, I've done circles and really gone quite heavy in the circles because I want this to be different than the outside. Now what you can do is allow the pencil, the sections to come right up to the sides and blend that way. I'm just going to bring in, it's a bit slicker. I don't want it to be a sort of, I want it to lead up, maybe the shapes here rounder. Can you see what I mean? They're not as, I'll get my fatter pen. So making the shapes themselves smoother. That's better. So take the edge off even more. Like that. I want it to look more or less like you've really gone under a microscope with it. Can't believe my youngest nephew was 16. That really brings age home to you. So, rounding off all these now, so I've got a softer shape within these, which is quite important for me at the moment, because I really enjoyed doing one the other day, and it was pebbles, and I think a lot of people enjoyed that as well. So I think you've only got to, if you enjoy it yourself, I'm going to get rid of that because it looks a bit daft there. And, you know, only stands to reason that other people might do it. There we go. Right. See, I like that now. So it's got a lot softer feel to it. When we go in with the pens, we'll be able to knock the edges off. So if anything's too sort of harsh corners, then we'll just round them up. So it'll probably be easier to see it. Like that. Where you really knock the corners off. It's like pebbles. There we go. Something so beautiful about this art form. I think I need to split that up. Yeah, that's better. You don't have to do it like this. You can keep it however you want. there was a picture the other day. I was looking at sea anemones and stuff, and it was almost like a glass bottom boat, and it just made me think of some of these, how these look like pebbles and sea anemones and under the water, and how like this is like getting a glass over a part of it and seeing through. Well, I don't know what it's like near you, but it's raining yet again here. There we go. I think that's a bit better now. So I'm enjoying sitting here, I must admit, but I'm not too sure about this section or anything. So we'll have to have a look at how it's going on. Again, I always bear with me. I've got my onesie thing on, so I can hardly move my arms. It's that thick. Again, always this is one of the hardest things people tell me that they find, and that's putting them in the right order, because there's certain colours that are incredibly difficult to do. I get it, I get that, I get it, totally get that. But that's why I always say go for a swatch, because what that will do is allow you to sort of see the true colour. Like I said, with these pens, you've got the light, medium and dark with all of them. If you go to Highlight Crafts, you will see that there's this box, and you can put in that FL50 and you get some money off. You get half price. So I'm looking at this now. I'm going to go with light first, so I'm going to use this very dark one. So dotting around, bring it down a bit. So if you're using paper like this, you'll see that you'll get a different reaction to your pens. Okay, so I'm trying there to sort of create depth. But I enjoyed it the other day when it was all sort of coming to the middle. But I don't want to do that again too much. I want to do sections that sort of can you see it's and a little trick for you, little trick. Do it rapid or slower keep the momentum, but don't that it's better if you don't do it irregular. If you do it regular, much. There we go. So I put some purple around the outside of it. So that's a very dark purple we've got there. So we can shift up. Now you might not have these. Now that's a little bit warm for that. So I'm going to go with these. See how that and that go together, and that. So I used that one. So I'm going to go with these now. So you're coming outwards now. So you're coming out further away. So where it's dense, you're going back over where it's dense, but then you're bringing it out a bit more. So we've got a little bit more light on that. I'm going to go to the lightest one. Just bring it out now. You don't need to fill your space. When you want them more deeper together and closer together, perhaps, like I'm doing, you create a more depth. More quicker dots. But when you're doing them further away, you have to move to the next dot, which is further away, which takes more time. So there we go. So we've got a little bit of depth there. There we go. Now, I think it needs a little bit of a light touch. So I'm going to go with the cooler of these. Just to add a little bit of light. Your eye does not, when it's close up, your eye sees the dots, but when it's further away, your eye mixes it all up together. I'm going to make this sing in a minute, so it'll be a bit different. So, can we get this? That's quite funny, isn't it? Can we get rid of the troll? Hot girls here. Who gives a flying crap? Don't matter if you have. White pen to rescue. Right. So I'm going to go with these. So round the outside, like that. Now don't forget we've got our Rachel, and Leanne and Mad Archers today doing their casual Sunday. So I'm going around the outside here just to see what this actually will create, like whether it will give it more of a three-dimensional feel, which I've got a funny feeling it might do. So don't forget, when you're doing dark ones, you need to put the light dots here to give it a bit of balance, otherwise it does go a little bit. It goes a little bit samey. So stripy, that's what I meant. So I'm now putting the second up colour. Now this one would look good if we put glossy accents on it, which I might do. So don't forget, it's like you put, say, 2 centimetres down, and when you put the next colour over it, you go back over 1 centimetre, and then you create another centimetre. So you've got 3 centimetres of colour. Do you get me? And then that way you blend is going to be really nice and not too sort of boring. So again, next colour. So it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back in your colouring. But I'm trying my best not to put too much in, because what happens is I go over the top with it and then I put it so dense I lose the light. So that's something I've got to be really conscious of. And I really love this one. So there we go. So that's, I'm going to go in with my light one now. Probably these here will have the light more or less filling them in. But it should sing for you. It should shimmer. I prefer it round the outside, don't you? So this one's going to be quite heavy, but what we could do is incorporate. Is that a word? Incorporate. Idiot. Bring them in. Get me? Because we've got quite a few colours, so we could bring them in. So what we're going to do now is don't think, I'm using these pens, I know, but they are my favourite pens for doing this, but it's not that I can't use other pens. I can do, but and don't just think that these pens, this is all that they do. It isn't. They do a lot more than this. But when you know that something is very good at a particular technique, then it makes sense to make sure that you use it for that. But it's not to say that it's not all it's good at, so to speak. So I'm just going to put quite dense red dots here, and it'll take me just time because it's too easy to go over too far with them, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to fill in these here because I know that'd be quite dark. I don't want to overfill it. So what I'm going to do, I think, is do all of them. Like that. And then I want to see what the pink looks like with it. I'm going to put the pink over it. So I'm going to go with the bright pink. Like that. Add a little bit more. This is where I'm going slightly different to the others now because I'm putting pink and red together. And what that's doing to your eye is making it think it's a lighter red when it actually isn't a lighter red. So, you know, there's little tips and tricks like that because your eye does help mixing. You don't. I'm going to just creep up the sides of the little lines as well now with the orange, the dark orange, because I think when I put the lighter pink over it now, get it? But this is like watching paint dry. Actually, I don't mind watching paint dry. So sad. So we've got the red, dark pink. And we're going to go in with the orange now, which is what we're doing, the dark orange. If you think 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So each time you put a colour on, it's 2 steps forward, 1 back. The next one is 1 back over it, 1 back over it, 1 back over it. And that way you get a blend. And once you get a blend, you're laughing because you know you can do it. Right, this is where I'm hoping to get it to shimmer a bit more now. This is the light orange. Anyway, you think you might need a little bit more. There we go. And they're almost invisible in parts, but your eye knows they're there when you look at them. And then any gaps that you've got darker further on, like towards the bottom where the darker colours were, just go over them with the lighter colour. So you're filling it in density wise, but you're not filling it in depth wise. Right, okay, so I need to do something with middle because I'm thinking it's getting a little bit sort of too dark there, too sparse. So going in with the pink. Going back in with the red. So what this is doing is sort of out, in, out. There we go. So we've got a bit of a shimmer going on there. So now I'm going to pull in with a lighter orange here. There we go. That's a bit better. Very light orange. Sorry, that was a dark orange. This is light orange. Got a little bit of depth going in it as well. Going with my yellow. Yellow makes it shimmer. Making me feel this is making me feel really hot now, this. As in temperature. Boiling. Having a bit of a turn, I think. Bit of a flush. Right, so I'm happy with that one. We've got a glow emanating from the outside inside. I'm just going to go with this dark colour here because I think this is a very dark red, almost brown, like a burgundy. Just this edge. There we go. Starting to give that a bit more. I think if you look at that and that now, you can see the depth it's created. So what I've done is I've done an in and an out here and then put the two together here. Now, if it's buffering anywhere, I do apologise, but I'll have a quick look at the feedback and see what it looks like. So there we go. I'm looking at the colours now. So we've got blues, purples. We need maybe could do with pink and green. Not got green, have we? So I'm going to bring in the green and I'm going to use it that way. So could use that and that. So I think that works quite nicely. So we'll do this one. I'll do this one. I quite like the dark. And this one I will use the very dark blue to darken the edges of this, because I think that will help your eye to think of it as a dark green, not a dark blue. Colour's brilliant, because if you put colour with next to another colour, say you put a blue with a green, the blue takes on the green and the green takes on the blue. So it all depends on how much it's weighted. So if it's more green or blue, whatever the weight of it, then we get the tertiary the colours that are, you know, like greeny blue or bluey green. It's all the little molecules mixing in your eyes. Because you can't mix paint. Paint is it's got solid particles in it, that the only thing you can do are have the particles that fine that they're suspended within a liquid. So they don't dissolve. So I'm going to do them. There, we've got sort of coming up and down these. So we're going to have like a bit of a depth. So we've got the darkest green. Now we come to the mid green. And it's actually good for you to be able to see this, because I'm not using like 9 different greens. I'm just using 2 greens and a yellow. And if I wanted it to stay a cool green, I would add the aqua and not the yellow. There we go. Now I'll just try a little bit of the aqua with it, just to show you that this will now be cooler. I need the darker green there because that's missed out a bit. That's it. So the aqua in now makes it a light colour, and the warmness has gone a little bit less. So we've got more of a bluey green. just shows you the nibs on these are brilliant because I've given it some welly. I'm not like being soft with it. Right, so we've got a nice sort of. Go on there. Does that go on there? Now I'm going to warm it up. And even that aqua, which was more blue than green, with your eye now will start to look like lime. I'm not going right over all the dots that have got. I'm not trying to hit the aqua. I'm just going near it because your eye will mix it. So I've also got a lighter green. And I'm going to go with some browns now. And dark orange. So I'm treating them all separately now in this one because it's only small. So we've done dark to light, inside to out, dark to light, outside to in. We've done both together. We've done like veins, so to speak. This one is going to be like almost like succulents. Those little succulent. They're not well, I suppose some of them are alpines, aren't they? But these are they almost look like little stones or pads on animals' feet. So here I've gone round the outside with the dark and come back in not too far out with the brown just to warm that up. So we've got that, and that. So, question is, do we go that or that? I think I'm going to go with the orange. Right, so we've got families of colours, we've got lights and darks, darks and light, I keep saying it. And then we've got these wonderful sort of mixes of colours where you might not have a light brown, but the nearest to it is an orange. That's where your swatches really do matter, because they're the ones that allow you to sort of see the colours for what they are. So just to show you now, all I'm going to do is, I didn't really need to do the, where's it gone now? Didn't really need to do the middle, but I'm not worried. So I'm just going to go against the ruler and it doesn't look like much is happening at the moment, and it isn't. But when I take this away, I'm creating a shadow, and the shadow is quite important because it's not overpowering. And I'm using the grey. Like I said before with this, you don't always get grey in colours. You tend to get just the bright colours. So in this pack, you've got like the dark in all of them, which is a plus because you've got like a dark brown, a dark blue, dark, all the dark purples. There you go. Can you see? Very light, but it gives you a really straight line. And you can sort of go back over it. But the ruler is I used to rule. Do you know what? I used to even write with a ruler years ago. So just bring that into play a bit more. Not all over. Just darken it in areas. Don't do it that way because that means you're going to go into that. But if you do it this way, you're only going to go into the frame, and that means you've got like a bevel on the edge. Whereas if you do it the other way, it looks like it's sat on top. So anyway, what we are doing today, I've got loads of work to do. I've got some shows coming up, and I've got a new collection out with highlight crafts. Can't wait for you to see that because it's like really simple, but it's all about journal making, and it's all about expanding ideas. And then I've got the cadence, working with the cadence, and it's been really interesting, you know, getting back to my mixed media, my paint and my background, and sort of really exploring because I love teaching. I really love it, and I think I'm incredibly lucky because I get to learn it from people, and then instead of thinking, oh yeah, you know, I know all about something, and no one, I don't think anybody knows it all. But then like Steph's painting is absolutely stunning, and I love, tell you what I do love, the quirky bird, Mel. I'm not saying she's a quirky bird, could well be, but she arranged quirky bird. David's beautiful, so elegant with his work, very elegant, beautiful to look at because it's also very sophisticated. I really like that. A lovely Amanda. Yeah, it was brilliant working closely with them. So we've got this really simple sort of shimmery feel to it. You could go in and maybe, you know, even just give a little bit of depth. I do like this. I'm just going to do one thing before. I'm not going to use the black because I don't want it to be overly dark, but I'm just going in with the dark purple Oh yeah, see? Just that tiny bit there. So let's have a quick look. Can you see? Starts to sing. Yeah, so Denise, the pens are on from Highlight Crafts and there's a flash along the screen. If you go to Highlight Crafts, it's and put in FL50, you get them for half price. And the paper is the ordinary paper we use. So it's Fabriano. I think what I am going to do, because I think that one is the least successful. Just a very small line around it. And I'm warming it up slightly because I'm using the burgundy and not the aubergine one. I'm just bringing the depth around the edge like that. Can you see how it's just giving it that? There we go. Much better. I think looking at this one now, I need to pop back in, just get the dark blue. I don't always start with the darkest one because I think I've got somewhere to go then. If I start with the darkest one, I've got nowhere to go. And it stops me using too much of it as well. So by using, I'm almost, oh it sounds a bit daft this, but I'm almost using it like an eyeliner, close to the edge. See how that's created that. So I'm going to go in now. The dark, this one here, I haven't got dark green, so I'm going to go on with the blue again. And you'll see this will now make this look like dark green. Doesn't it? It's crazy, isn't it? Your eyes are amazing, you know, when you think it's your eye doing all this. Because we're creating pixels and your eye is getting them in the right order and the right sequence for us to see them properly. So, right, just darken it in some areas, not all of it. Definitely works adding the very last bit. Gets it shimmering a little bit more depth. Like that. I think I'm going to use the dark plum here as well. Just round the edge. Not necessarily into all the sections like I've done, but just think. Believe it or not, it is black. I know. like salt and pepper. See, you can do it really fine. Quite like that, where you just, it's almost like the lines of like a tree. Not on all of them, maybe just some of them. That's nice. They're almost like roots. I would suggest you got one of those clarity hand guards as well. They're very good. Right, more or less done now. And you see, it's just a tiny bit. I'll bring it up close to show you, but it's not as aggressive as I normally do, which is quite heavy. But this is like the greys, the main colour. I'm just adding the black. There we go. Right, okay, what time is it? Oh, excellent. So that's what we've done. So we did the pennies and the £2 and all that, crisscross, side to side, top to bottom. Then we look at it and see, do we like it like that? Does that do what we want? And if there's gaps, put your own in. Then I went over it with the circle maker, darkened in there, and then the colours in it. So we've gone through light to dark, dark to light, and I think I'm going to put some glaze on this, like glossy accents, just so that it looks like a prism underwater or a bubble. And I've thoroughly enjoyed that, thoroughly, absolutely loved it. So yeah, I don't know what it's been like filming from here. I'm hoping that I can start to make it a bit more regular here, but we'll see how the buffering is when I play it back. So thank you again to all my Patreons for allowing me to continue. If you'd like to subscribe, YouTube, and if you go to lewithers.com, www.lewithers.com, you can see everything that I do there. You can see some little speeded up pictures. Always remember, that. Okay, so what I will do is I will say goodbye now. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much for everything. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the button, get the notifications for when my next video's up. And again, as always, I'll see you probably Wednesday now. Okay, bye.